What is up, YouTube? This is DBZ439 coming at you with another deck profile for October 2020, and this time it's Numeron Cyberdragon. I recently posted two other variations of this deck on my channel. The first one was Dragoon Cyberdragon, and the second one was Kaiju Cyberdragon. But currently, I'm running Numeron Cyberdragon, and I like this build a lot more than the other two builds that I have on my channel because Numerons help you go first and second. Going first, you can make ZEXAL, and going second, you can just OTK with 4 Numerons and just keep doubling attack with the field spell, which doesn't require you to detach material, so that's really cool. And then, if you can't OTK using the Numerons, you just make ZEXAL, sit on it for a turn, and then hopefully you OTK with Rampage the next turn. So I think the deck has really good synergy. I did have to gut a lot of the Cyberdragon cards to incorporate the Numeron engine and hand traps, so we'll get to that in a little bit. But I just really feel this build takes advantage of the Numeron engine because it can go first and second, and then you can OTK. You don't have to sit on ZEXAL for too long. You just need to buy one turn with ZEXAL, and then in general you can OTK using the Cyberdragon engine. So without any further ado, let's start the deck profile with the main deck. So first off, we only run one Cyberdragon. So this is one very, unique thing about this build is compared to the other two builds. I'm just running the one Cyberdragon for the searchability and the utility. You don't run the other two Cyberdragons just because you're not running the machine dupes. Again, I had to cut a lot of the Cyberdragon cards to make room for hand traps and the Numeron package. So that's why we're only running the one Cyberdragon. Then we run the one Nachster. Again, you're not heavily reliant. The Cyberdragon is almost like a sub-engine. Like, it's almost as big as, or maybe a little bigger than the Numeron engine itself. And then you run a bunch of hand traps. So it's very like a sub-engine, you could say, because you're not running too many cards. But we do max on the best normal summon of the deck, triple Cyberdragon core. This is same across all variations. It's a really good starter card, just free +1, gets you into possibly sets up your Predaplant plays into Rampage or sets up your Cyberdragon Infinity, so that's critical. Again, another Cyberdragon we do want to max on is Herz. You can tutor this with 1-for-1. It gets you a search. It's just another Cyberdragon name engraved, so you can either fuse with it using Overload Fusion or Verte, or you can dump it with the Rampage Dragon, so that's really critical. So that's it for the Cyberdragons, actually. That's only 10 Cyberdragons. So, it's only 8 Cyberdragons, so you really can make do with just 8. This is the very bare minimum. Again, we're not maxing on, Cyberdragons or Nachsters, or we're not even running Veer, but this is the minimum number of Cyberdragons you can get away with and still call a Cyberdragon deck. So that's it for the Cyberdragons. Next up for light machines is we run triple Galaxy Soldier. I know I could cut this for like more Cyberdragon cards, but I just want to see this card. And you do run a bunch of lights, even though you don't run as many Cyberdragons. You do run a bunch of lights, like in your hand traps, like Gamma or Effect Veiler. So the deck really does have a lot of synergy. If you open it, then that's fine. You go into Infinity, which is really cool, and Nova helps you set up the extra body to go into Verte, and then you can make the Predaplant for OTK. So I like playing 3 Soldier. I think it's really cool. Even if you open it, then you can save your Repair Plant for another search. Next up, for the 3-ofs, triple Numeron Wall. Again, it wouldn't be a Numeron deck if you're not running the Numeron card. So triple Numeron Wall. Onto the hand traps. We have triple Ash, triple Veiler, and triple Gamma. So again, this hand trap engine right here, it helps you go first or second. Generally, this is a blind second deck, but if your opponent makes you go first, that's fine. You can still, just rely on your hand traps and the ZEXAL combo to help you stun your opponent, and then you can proceed to OTK with your Cyberdragon engine, and obviously the one driver. That's it for the monster count. So now we're going to move on to the spells. So we have to run... Again, it's the Cyberdragon. So this is technically a Cyberdragon monster, if you think about it. You're just going to search your core or your Herz or whichever card you need at that moment. So triple Cyber Emergency, so that's not going to change. For the Numeron package, we run the triple Numeron Network. This card helps you OTK. This card helps you go into ZEXAL. This card is nuts, very underrated at the moment. Obviously, the one Numeron Calling, you could run multiples, but my goal is to resolve this effect once, and then afterwards, hopefully you have game. You're really not trying to resolve it multiple times. The one Mystic Mine, along with the one Terraforming, just again, it's a blind second deck. This is really a flex spot. It could be anything like Rev System or Cyberload Fusion, but Mine, again, if you draw into it, you can turn your Terraforming into a Mine depending on the situation at hand. Last of the one-ohs, you have the one for one to get your Numeron Wall or any of your other, like Cyber Dragon or Effect Failure. Then you can go to Anima if you really need to. The one Predaplant for utility off the Cyber Dragon core, and the one Overload Fusion for Predaplant, Verte, Anaconda. That's it for the spells. Let's quickly move on to the traps. We're running triple Infinite Impermanence. Helps you go first, helps you go second. Also technically an archetype card, so that's really cool. And the one Cybernetic Overflow. Again, it's a blind second deck, but if they make you go first, you can search it off a core, set it, and hopefully pop some cards if you really need to. So that does it for the main deck. Let's quickly go through the side deck. The side deck is built to go second. So, again, it is a blind second deck, so most of the cards are meant to go blind second. Triple Nibiru for decks that try to special summon spam. The one Pankratops to help, apply pressure or pop back row. Really good card going second. Next up, for board breakers, Triple Dark Ruler No More. Really good against Dragon Link. Not so good against Infernoble, but just good against boards that, make really big bodies with a lot of negates or floodgates. The one Duster for back row, and the one Red Reboot for back row as well. And then Evenly Match for decks that, if you can bait their negates on spells and traps, you can this is a blowout card in certain matchups, so I still think it's worth running. So all those cards that help me go second, what helps me go first is triple Anti-Spell Fragrance. So you could, going first, you can cut like a Galaxy Soldier, a Mystic Mine, because that doesn't help you go first, and then maybe like a 1-for-1 or something like that. Just any other card, maybe like an Ash, just to help you go first. So I just have that option. If I really don't like that matchup going second, I can just go Anti-Spell going first. So yeah, that's it for the side deck. Let's get on to the extra deck. Extra deck space is really, really tight. I had to cut a lot of cards to incorporate the Numeron engine. But let's start with our links. So the one Seeger, still really good. Helps you OTK by pumping Rampage. Or, if you can bait, you can run over Dragoons with Seeger, even if Dragoons has 4,000 attack. The one Verte, absolutely critical for your Rampage plays. The one Relinquished Anima, this could be Megaclops, but I just like it as a bait card going second. It can steal, opponent's monsters if they're not careful, so I think that's still really good. Again, it could be Megaclops, but in testing, I usually use the Numeron XZ monsters just to go into ZEXAL, so I don't really see myself going into Megaclops. And the last link is one Almiraj, because you need it for the Cyber Dragon core plays. We're only running one Synchro, the one Omega, for going with the Gamma package, so that sometimes comes up because you need to clear your board to resolve Numeron Network. So that really helps. Like if they try to stop with Ogre, for example, you Gamma, make Omega, rip another card, and then proceed with your plays. And then it's also really good to dump off with the Augmatica Maximus if they make you. For the Numeron cards, obviously the one ZEXAL to stop your opponent from playing the game. And then you just run one of each of the number monsters. So one number 2, one number 3, and then the number 4. So that's it for the Numeron package. It is 5 cards, so I had to cut so before I was running 2 Novas and 2 Infinity, but now I had to cut it to 1/1. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss the second one sometimes, but this deck is so much better at OTKing. If you need to see the second Infinity, you're better off just recycling it with Nachster, is the way it is. And then the last three cards in the extra deck are the fusions. The one Chimeratech, the one Megafleet, and the one Rampage. I will say Fortress is not as good as it used to be just because I'm not running the Jizukiru. I could make space for a Jizukiru, but right now I think the main deck, extra deck, is really tight. This is just for, you know, the random matchups that if machines ever come up. The one Megafleet, this is a lot more generic. Being able to like tag out like with Appaloosa, for example, is good. And then Rampage is critical because this is how you're going to get your OTKs, and that's your main Overload Fusion target. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you have any comments or suggestions on how I can make this build better, please leave it down in the comment section below. I really love to hear your guys' comments. Thank you so much for watching the video, and have a nice day.